on, sometimes lots. Hey there. Hi there. I'm Brianna Bowling. I'm the founder of Retreat and Learn. I need your help. If you like these interviews, I need you to spread the word. You need to hit subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, and even more important, share these videos with your friends. If this is the very first time that you have joined us on one of these interviews, it's really easy to ask a question. We love questions. You just need to post it in the comments and then we will address it while we're live. There will be a replay available shortly after, so you can send it to your friends. So, I don't have a tattoo, but I have to admit, I've thought about getting one. And honestly, I'm a little chicken. And it's not the pain I'm scared of, but I'm actually chicken of getting stuck with a bad tattoo. I mean, that's pretty darn scary, right? It's permanent. So I'm really happy to have Shannon Wang here today to answer my questions and your questions about getting a tattoo. I met Shannon because she is also a talented artist in addition to her work at Shop 53 Custom Tattoo. So let me bring her into the broadcast studio so we can ask her some questions. So let's bring her in. Oops, there we go. All right, there you go. Let me put you in the right thing. There we go.
All
So
right.
welcome, Shannon. It's always like too many buttons. There's so many buttons to push, and I can certainly mess them up. So you heard my intro, right? I'm scared of getting a tattoo, but it's not the pain. I mean, I'm pretty good with pain, but that's a permanent thing on you. And so, is there anything that you can recommend as somebody who's thinking about getting a tattoo about how to prevent that bad tattoo?
Yeah. Actually, pain usually is a big concern for people, and the permanence of it isn't. So that's kind of fun that you are the reverse.
Okay, we can talk about the pain too. Don't worry, we can hit that too.
So absolutely. I mean, our shop, we definitely do not want any regrets whatsoever. So we sit down. We're a custom shop, which means that we don't have flash or pre-drawn tattoos on the walls. We want to
Okay.
come up with something that is custom and hopefully just a little bit different for you. So in the process, you can come in with a design that you already have, or you can talk about an idea that you have that you haven't seen before. We can work with you and you'll see the design, and hopefully it's one that both the artist and you kind of mash together, and it is something that you will not be upset with.
Okay, so all right, because and some of this is going to seem so common sense to you because you've been in this industry for a while, but for somebody who has probably walked in just a few shops in her life, so if I come to you and I go, "Hey, I'm thinking about like some Celtic design, but I'm not really sure. Maybe some flowers to the right or the left," is that all I really need to come walking in the door with? And then you draw out something, or do I bring in a picture of one I like? I mean, how does that exactly work? How do I get a good design?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. First, yeah, you'd want to have some type of direction of what you're looking to get, and make sure that it matches the style of the artist that you are going to talk to. In our shop, we like to do consultations, as I mentioned, and anything that you can bring to the table that gets your idea out is very helpful. So if you have a picture of an apple, but you love the way it was drawn, you don't necessarily want the apple, tattoo, but you really like the style. We can help you mesh what you want, together. So you
Okay.
definitely want to look at portfolios. You want to make sure that that artist that you're talking to does what you want. You may want a super realistic train, but they do more illustrative work. They might not be the best fit for you. So you can first look at the portfolios. Hopefully they have a shop usually has them in a book form in their shop, or perhaps on website. For our shop, I can speak for us, we have everything online, so you can check out everyone's work there. And if you don't know and you're not sure, you can always email the shop, and that would be me, to say, hey, I'm looking to get this done, who do you think would be a best fit? And that's what we want, is we want you to go to the person that's going to do the best job.
Okay. So basically, you're looking at them to make sure that it's the same style of things that you like.
Mhm.
And if you kind of you kind of jive with the style that they're doing, then you can start talking about the design. And then does the tattoo artist then draw out what they're going to put on you before they stick it on you, or do they just start free forming? I mean, I really don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, no, it's okay. And there's no stupid questions either. So, tattoos aren't for everybody. And sometimes they start, you like them right away, or sometimes people like them, as they get more mature. So it's totally, totally fine. Yeah. The artist will listen to all of your ideas, assuming they match the style. If they don't, in our shop, they'd be like, oh, I think you should talk to, this other artist. I think she might be a better fit for you. So assuming they're a good fit, you bring your ideas together and she will talk to you about what she thinks is good too. Just because you say, I want this, this, and this, if it's not going to work out as a good tattoo or a good design or good placement, then she'll tell you, oh, I think we might want to change it and do this, or perhaps you might want to think about doing it here. And this is
Okay.
why, that type of thing. So it is more than likely drawn before your appointments, and you can either make an appointment again to look at the design, because we don't email those out to you,
Hmm.
or you'd see it before your actual tattoo appointment. And
Okay.
there's usually a little bit of a buffer there if you don't like it exactly how it is, to tweak some things and make it what you wanted.
Okay. No, that makes sense. Okay, great. So you mentioned the pain factor. Okay. It probably isn't a big deal to me, but you're right. Most people, what they're afraid of is it's going to hurt. I mean, these are needles, right? So, one, does it really hurt? And two, is there things that someone can do to make it not hurt as much?
There are a few things. Getting a very good meal beforehand is very important. Being
Wait a minute. Why?
It's a blood sugar thing. Actually, this week we've had a couple people almost, kind of pass out because they
Okay.
hadn't eaten.
I probably they get nervous. I'm not going to eat because I'm getting nervous. I'm not going to eat. And then, yeah, that's a bad idea. Okay. Perfect. Makes
Yeah, they
sense.
get super pumped up. Your adrenaline's rushing,
Hmm.
and then all of a sudden the sugar drops, and then you feel a little queasy. So
Okay.
we're definitely prepared for that as well. But definitely eating a good meal, eating before you come, um, and staying hydrated. You don't want to, party hard the night before. Try and drink a bunch of water and be hydrated. That always helps. There are some different products out there that are numbing creams and things of that nature, and we don't really use those. We haven't found one that we love. Some kind of change the texture of your skin, so we just kind of go old school with no numbing cream
So
right
if
now.
somebody wants to use numbing cream, can they do that on their own, or is that
Yeah, there's a bunch of different products out there.
okay?
We encourage you to at least let us know beforehand, but it's not something that we promote or sell at the shop at
Gotcha.
all. But it is
Huh,
something that's
makes
available.
sense. So, you talked about this, the creams or the numbing creams potentially could change the texture of the skin. Are there things that if I'm going to get a tattoo so that I get the best result possible that I can do to prep my skin? I mean, like, when you get an EKG, they say don't put lotion on. Is it like that with a tattoo?
Yeah, you can put lotion. Definitely don't get any type of sunburn, tanning creams, anything like that. But just your run of the mill lotion is great. Again, staying moisturized and hydrated always helps for sure.
Okay. Anything that we can do to make it better, our skin better prepped? I mean, I don't know. Is lotion better than not using? Should you shower the day before, or is it better to shower right before? Is there anything like that that makes a difference?
No, I haven't really come into anything like that would,
Okay.
make it any
Perfect.
better. Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
All good things.
Lotion in the
Okay.
water is good to go.
Safety is another thing, right? That's another thing. It's a big fear for people. They think they're going to get some diseases or whatever it happens to be, or some infection when they go in to get a tattoo.
Mhm.
So, how can they prevent that?
Yeah, absolutely. Um, a lot of times, tattoos, if they do happen to get infected, it's because of what happens after they get a tattoo. You have to assume that that tattoo is an open wound. That's kind of how you have to think about it, because it actually kind of is a little bit.
Yeah.
So if you leave, your tattoo shop and you go out and do some gardening, anything that is in that dirt can get into your tattoo and cause, any type of infection. So the biggest thing to do is to keep it clean, keep it moisturized. As far as while you're getting the tattoo, you definitely want to take a look at the shop. I have walked people through our studio many times. We've had a lot of first timers. We've had a lot of people that are concerned about that very thing. This is my first time, can you walk me through it? We show them, our autoclave machine, our all of our sanitizing protocols. We show them that all of our needles are, pre-packaged, and this is the little dot that shows you that it is, you know, ready to go and that it's safe, and none of these things are opened into in front of you unless you're sitting down and you actually see us open these products. So walking around, don't hesitate to ask your tattoo artist to look around, look at their machines and their equipment. Make sure it's clean. If
Right.
there's dirt around, ink spots, I can't really think right
Right.
now what could be,
Yeah.
but you'll know it, if you look around and you're like,
Right.
that, maybe that's not the right place for
Right.
you. But yeah, don't ever hesitate to ask people, what type of needles, what type of ink, any of those questions can be asked for sure.
All right, that's good. So that brings to mind. So let's say that you front leave the lobby, you go there, you kind of do your initial consultation. You think, yeah, this is the place I want to get a tattoo. You go with that day to get your tattoo. You're in the middle of it. They're starting to start the process. Are there any red flags or things that you really should be looking for at that point once you've reached that point? I mean, you mentioned a lot of them in terms of cleanliness and whether or not they open up the needles there while you can see it. But is there anything that really, like, if you see it, you should get up and leave? I know.
I know it's a tough one.
It is, because you know what? I've been in your shop. Your shop is immaculate and wonderful and very clean. I mean, it feels very much like going into a very high-end salon. I mean, it's nice. So, but I know you're not not every place is like yours.
It's hard to speak about not our shop. I can't imagine a scenario that we would have that would make somebody walk away. I guess if
Yeah, because
I
you're
were
different, but there are places. Think about some
let's
other
see.
places. What would be?
Yeah, if I were looking down at a tattoo artist that wasn't staying on the lines, or was doing a color or filling in an area that you didn't want colored or filled in, I'm kind of grabbing at straws. If they
Yeah.
are shaking, I guess, in any
Oh,
way,
okay.
if
That's a
it's
good
just,
one. Yeah.
if it just starts
Okay.
out and you're like, oh, wait, this isn't what's stenciled on you, because we hadn't really gone over that. But, once you have a design and you get there, you kind of look at that on a piece of paper. You have that, and we'll probably talk about that in a few minutes. But yeah, that you should have a stencil on you and pretty much know the direction of where it's going. So,
So
um,
you mentioned this stencil. We can actually show that video now if you want.
sure.
Is that probably a good time to add it? So I'm going to
Yeah,
go ahead and
great.
put this in and hit. So I'm just going to hit play on there if you want to
Sure.
talk us through what we're looking at.
Yeah, absolutely. So after you've gotten your design, you got it on a piece of paper. We put the piece of paper up on your body and you're like, yeah, this looks good. We make a stencil. And the stencil is put on. This is not a permanent thing at all. It's kind of like a temporary tattoo almost. So then you know exactly where it's going. This you see the size, you see how it lays on your body, and once that's pulled off, we can take pictures. You can look in the mirror and make sure that it's totally straight, that it's the size you want. This one flows really well with the curves of our body and the shoulder
Mhm.
cap. It's a really good fit, and it's a bigger stencil. That was one of the reasons why I picked it for this. It's not every day that people get half their back done, but
Yeah.
yeah. So that's like a second tier. So you see the design on the computer or on the paper. You kind of put the piece of paper up to you and see how it looks, and then this next step is getting the stencil on is kind of the final. Okay, this looks good. This is what I
Mhm.
wanted. And then we go. You start tattooing from here if the stencil looks good to you.
Gotcha. Okay. But that's, I mean, and that's very pretty. So, I mean, I imagine, I don't know what that looked like when it finished, but I'm sure it was pretty magnificent.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Pretty good. Yeah. So is this one that you did?
No, this is one of our artists, Lauren, that did this one. So yeah, and her client was just beyond pumped. I actually wish I had recorded her reaction to the drawing because she was so excited.
It's
So
cool.
it was really awesome.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to remind, we have a couple people watching now, and so I just wanted to remind anybody who's watching, I'm asking lots of questions, things that are on the top of my head. But certainly, if you have any questions, all you have to do is just throw the questions down into the chat box, and then we can ask Shannon while we have her live here. And you can always put them in the comments later, and we can answer them later. But it's great to do it live too.
Yeah, hit me.
So. All right. So the topic of this was first tattoo, right? It's for people like me or chicken and kind of going, oh, I don't know about this. So what have you seen, both good and bad, for somebody's first tattoo? If somebody came to you and said, hey, I'm thinking about getting my first tattoo, what would you recommend to them? Both directions, like don't do this and do this.
Well, I think getting a smaller one is probably the best option. It's not always the route that people go, but I think just so you can kind of wrap your head around the process, how it feels, getting a smaller wrist tattoo or something, like a lightning bolt that I have, or something smaller, then you're like, okay, now I know what to expect, as opposed to just kind of diving in on, let's say, that back piece tattoo, which is going to be hours long. So I think small is always good. Then you kind of get the hang of it. You understand the permanence of it. You're getting used to seeing something new on your skin forever. So yeah, I think for me, we try and say, maybe you should do a little one before you do a huge one.
Right. And would you recommend, I mean, this is something my daughter just recently got a tattoo. And so she went back and forth on whether to have, did get a small one. She got a small one on the inside of her arm where she felt like it was personally for her. It wasn't displaying it to everybody. She was going to decide if she liked having a tattoo because she could see it.
Yep.
But she went back and forth on whether to have color in it and whether that made sense, especially for a first tattoo. And is there any suggestions on that?
If she was sitting in front of me and was teetering between color or not, I would definitely say not.
Okay.
You can always add color later, once you get used to it. If it's I'm assuming it's an outline or something of sorts. You can always color it with marker afterward. After it's healed, color it with marker. And be like,
So I'm laughing because my husband, when she suggested that she thought she might want to get a tattoo, he says, well, why don't we just take a Sharpie and draw a tattoo on you? And you can see if you like it for a while first, because he was kind of like, I don't know if you should get one,
Yeah.
She did not do that. She went and just got the tattoo, but she did do no color.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, err on the side of caution, yeah. If you're not sure, then don't do it. Like, absolutely don't do it if you're not sure.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. She's 100% happy with hers, by the way. So
Awesome.
yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
And now I think her cousins are thinking about it. So I don't know. She started a path.
Yeah. Once one gets it, then it's like, oh, that's kind of cool. And yeah,
Yeah,
it
it is
happens.
true.
Yeah.
And she's probably mad I'm talking about her on here. But anyways, we move forward. That's what moms do.
Right.
So you talked a little tiny bit about aftercare and how you take care of, you said, don't go gardening that day. What can somebody do in that first day, that first week, the first year of having a tattoo so that it still looks good 20 years from now?
Yeah, absolutely. The sun is your biggest enemy. Which ironically, summer we're super busy, but it's actually not the best time to get a tattoo. You have to keep in mind that at least 2 weeks after your tattoo, you cannot have that area of your body submerged in water. You don't want it anywhere near a pool, a river, an ocean, a lake, anything like that, because bacteria can get in it. Again, it's just like an open wound. So you want to be very mindful of that. Sun, even after it's completely healed, um, will kind of, fade your tattoo. It won't look as
Hmm.
good. So we always tell people to get the highest SPF they can possibly get. They even have sticks of it where it's super high, so you can just put that on just where your tattoos are, if you'd like to, and you don't want 300 SPF all over your body.
Right.
Just putting it on your tattoos will help with the longevity of your tattoo, by all means.
And so
And
does it permanently change it if the sun permanently changes the tattoo, right? I mean, it's not like something that like a sunburn that goes away. It's permanently changing it.
yeah, I mean, everybody's skin's totally different, but most of the time, sun is not a good thing to have for sure. Or sun exposure, and like you had mentioned, keeping it clean. The first couple weeks are obviously the most important. The only thing that you want to be touching that tattoo is your clean hands.
Hmm.
Washing your hands very good with soap and water, and then washing it with just kind of your basic soap, just Dove. You don't want anything that has the dermabrasion stuff, or perfumes, or smells. You just want your basic soap and water and cleaning it off. And we sell a product at the shop that we all really love called Hustle Butter, and it smells really good. It's all natural, and
I love the name.
yeah, it's great. I don't know if you know our slogan, but it has hustle in the our slogan, but I won't say it again.
Okay.
And yeah, so it works really great. You just put a super thin layer of that on there, almost like chapstick on your lips, and
Hmm.
just being mindful of what you're doing. If you have it on your arm, just being mindful of what you put your arm down on. You don't really want your pets to be around it. If they're outside in the grass, or whatever's on them can get into your tattoo. So just being super mindful and clean as to what's going around it and on it.
So that's the healing process once it's healed. So how long does it take to actually heal then?
Again, everybody's different. Some people just heal a lot faster than others. If you have like diabetes or any other type of like
Mm.
autoimmune factors, then that can kind of delay the healing process. It also depends on how much saturation that your tattoo has. If it's just an outline of sorts, just like this, and it's just line work, that's going to heal a lot faster than something that has, like a lot more saturation, that's colored in,
Mm.
bigger
Right.
blocks of
It's just
color.
more of it. Right. Okay.
Sure.
That makes sense. All right. And then anything like a year out that you should, same thing. I know this SPF and the sun, but anything
Mhm.
else that you need to be aware of in terms of protecting your tattoo?
Really just the sun is really it. Yeah, after that, the first couple of weeks after it kind of peels a little bit, it may itch really, really bad. And you don't want to itch it or scratch it if you can help it. Smacking it sounds strange, but helps with
Okay.
the, I know.
It does
Um,
sound a little strange. I'm going to give you that.
yeah, you might look a little weird just going, "Ah, ah," but it definitely helps the itching. So you're not picking or scratching at it. So
Okay.
um, yeah, but the first couple weeks are really the most important, and then after that, SPF, lotion, just general moisturizing like you would, regularly is great.
Okay. That all makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are almost done here. So if you are
Okay.
watching and you have any questions, this is your last chance. We're going to be just about finishing up. So I have kind of an interesting question. I told you I would kind of give you an idea of what I was going to ask you and not surprise you, but I did think of one question.
That's
And if
fine.
you don't want to answer it, you don't have to. But what
Okay.
was your first tattoo?
My first
Oh,
tattoo, I actually messed this up because I was asked this the other day and I said the wrong one. My first tattoo was a outline of a star.
oh,
For
okay. So you
whatever reason.
followed your advice you give now. Keep it simple.
Yep, very simple. And there was a time where it was not called a tramp stamp your lower back, and that at that time was when I got it. So I'm kind of dating myself right now, but yeah. So at the time, it was not called that spot, but it is now. So yeah, it's a basic outline of a star. Yep.
Okay, very good. And do you have a favorite tattoo of all your tattoos?
That's a tough one.
I know. Maybe one that means the most to you, maybe not your favorite, but the one that means the most to you. Anything that you're
Um,
really, really glad you got.
well, I'm working on my bird arm, so I love that. I love my nest. Me
So
and
the
my
whole arm is just birds and bird
lettuce.
theme? It's like all bird stuff?
Yeah, this is going to be my bird arm, which I've
Okay.
just recently, realized this. Like, okay, this can be my bird arm. This is going to be my music arm, and yeah, I'm kind of a theme person, so yeah. So I'm going to finish this one, the bird arm first, and then work on the music
Okay.
arm.
Well, I mean, they look cool, so that's a pretty neat thing. So do you have anything on your music arm yet?
I do. I have one around my elbow. It
All
says
right. So you
rock and
got the
roll
start.
bird. Yes.
Well, you're in the right industry to get some more, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to also point out that your studio is not just tattoos. You also have an art studio in the tattoo shop, and so we were talking about this a little beforehand, and that if you are interested in art, that you can come in and not just look at the art, but you can also purchase the art. And so if there's anything you want to talk about that or anything you want to share, I'd be glad to give you the time to do so.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. Yeah, as you mentioned, we have a small art gallery inside the shop, and it is always theme based. So right now, we have a bird slash wood theme. We just celebrated our 5-year anniversary of the shop. So the 5-year wedding material is wood, and our favorite theme of the first 5 years was birds. So we kind of combined the two, and your submissions had to have an element of each of those. The call for art now is villains. So we're looking for artists to submit work based on that theme. And we really love having local artists. We're in La Plata and love to have Southern Maryland artists, but we also call out to DC, Pennsylvania, Virginia. We were lucky enough to have an artist from Japan submit stuff over the shutdown and COVID. So it's really fun, super eclectic group. And we're very happy to have a spot in Charles County where people have a place to show their artwork.
Very cool. So is it okay to just come in and take a look at it, even if you're not looking to purchase necessarily at that time?
Absolutely. You can look online as well. We always have all of the pieces shown on our website, and
Okay, which
also
is right there in case people are looking for it.
yeah, opposite.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't know. It's hard to tell where it is.
yeah, it is. Yeah, so on our website you can see the current call for art of what art we're looking for now, what is currently hanging and available in the gallery, and you can look back at past shows as well. We just sold a piece from an older show just because someone was interested in flipping through to see the older themes that we've had.
All right, very cool. All right, well,
Yeah.
I'll be in soon. You're going to see me just walking through just to take a look at art because I just love art and looking at it. So I
Okay.
need more
Awesome.
walls is what I really need.
Yeah, you and me both. I think it's the
So,
only bare wall that I have in my house.
all right, well, you got to fill it. That's
Yes.
very good. So, well, thank you very much for sharing all of your knowledge. It's been immensely helpful to me. Maybe I'll get my guts up if I'll at least buy some art. Maybe I'll get my guts up and get a tattoo
All
as
right, we
well.
can just put a stencil on you maybe so you can
Okay.
see what happens.
Yeah, that's kind of the idea of what my husband had with the Sharpie. Same
Yeah.
idea, but a very much more elegant Sharpie, much better done.
Yeah,
So,
that'd be great.
very. All right. Well, thank you so much. And I will see everybody next time we do an interview. I don't know when that's going to be exactly. So, thanks.
All right. Awesome. Thank you.
Bye.